transplant was on Halloween night of all things. How's that? There was a lot of humor and jokes about that. And what I'll remember about that night was the nurses. And you get to, when you're in the transplant ward for a month, you really get to know your nursing staff and the attendants and all of that. And usually it was really fun and pleasant, and we just chatted, and it was so cool, all that warm connection. But that night, the vibe changed. How would you guess as they were preparing for the transplant? What do you think was a little different in the atmosphere?
Business.
All business, all focus, yeah. Everybody was very focused, and they were coming in and out and checking this and putting, electrodes on and checking and then double checking the checking, and it was like, wow, this is like what I put here, like a symphony, an orchestra. Everybody knew when to play their part, and it was just smooth teamwork. You notice that when you're a patient, at least I do. I just put this slide here. Of course, by now I've lost my hair. And the reason I put that there is I was feeling lousy during that time after the chemo and the radiation, as you might guess. But I sort of pushed myself to get up and take a little stroll. Every time they unhooked me from all of the monitors for a shower, I said, hey, can I just go out in the hall? And I would just walk about like this. I was so weak, that's about all I could do. But just that little nudge to move was really helpful, and I would encourage, not overdoing it, but a little nudge to get people to move as much as possible. Another great medicine, humor. That's my two brothers and their wives. They brought a copy of Will Ferrell's Talladega Nights. I always remember that picture. I just still have a warm feeling about that. So you're lying in there, feeling like you're half dead, but sort of snickering at a great, funny movie. This is Dr. Seufer and his team. Now, Dana-Farber's a teaching hospital, so every day he would come by with the residents and the students and the interns or whoever, and they'd poke and prod, and I sort of enjoyed being something that they could learn from. And at one point I said, hey, Doc, he's the guy in the middle. I told you, he's a real down-to-earth guy. I said, so Doc, overall, how are things looking? How am I doing? He said, you're doing so well. You know what? You're boring. Come on, team, let's go find another patient. I'll never forget that. This head guy saying you're boring. That was so beautiful. It's that personality, that encouragement, but it was backed up by reassurance and confidence. Really, really cool. Another great thing. In my room, they had a whiteboard on the wall right in front of my bed. I don't know if that's common practice. And they plotted my blood readings. And I like the numbers, and I like seeing a visual representation of the numbers. And I'll always remember, it actually took a while. It was supposed to be 7 to 10 days before my count started rising, but it was 11, 12, 13, and I'm going, oh my God, the worst fear you could have was setting in. They're not taking, I'm not gonna make it. And then one day, it's like day 12 or 13, it nudged up just a little bit, and then the next day, the next morning, I'll always remember the nurse. The nurse came in, and I'm going to put my back to you, because here's my whiteboard. All the numbers were plotted. The nurse came in, plotted my blood reading that morning, then he just turned like this, stepped aside, looked at me, smiled, gave me a little wink, and he walked out the door. And I went, well, what's that about? And that's what it was about. That little gesture, I mean, that's the moment when, gosh, I'm going to make it. The count started rising, and I'll always remember that moment, but I also remember the gesture, the way he just conveyed it. It was so cool.